next segment is mine, and it is, what's your guys', do you guys have any reoccurring nightmares? This segment's called Nightmare Share.
I used to when I was a child. It wasn't a reoccurring nightmare, but it was a theme that at the end of all my nightmares, I would get, like, not fully
scared,
eaten, but someone would, like a tall, lanky man would start to eat me. Then I'd wake up.
What the fuck?
As opposed to a tall, fat man.
Yeah, it just always ended up being like a similar character that was tall.
See, that's really interesting to me though,
guy.
that he's specifically a lanky man. I feel like there's something in some psychological thing in there that a therapist would be able to draw from.
Yeah,
was it always the
like,
same man, or was it happened to be tall and lanky, or was it always different tall, lanky men?
In one, it was like a kind of decrepit looking tall lanky guy who kind of grabbed me. He just like grabbed me and put me up and started like chewing on my leg, I think, or maybe it was my arm. Mm-hmm. But he was like a normal sized human. And then in another one,
Dan does have some appetizing legs.
There was a giant, like very bigger than life size lanky guy in a room, and my sister kept dipping through the room. And I was
so it must have been a huge room.
Yeah, it was a really big room, and she would go in, and I'd be like, I don't know if I want to go in. And then I finally was like, fuck it, I'll go. And as soon as I went in, he snatched me up and threw me in his mouth. So that was...
Wow.
Not the same guy, but like similar build.
So basically when Rosie tells you to go into a room, you shouldn't trust her.
Not if there's a big old giant guy in there.
Are you afraid of lanky, tall dudes in real life because of this, Dan, do you think, or no?
No. I would say not. I haven't.
What if they have a fork and knife?
While.
What if you see a tall, lanky man with like a bib?
A man with a bib?
Yeah, like a tall, lanky man who's got like a fork and knife and a bib that has your face on it, and he's like,
I would for sure be wary of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that
seems like kind of a giveaway. Yeah. So, Dan, does this make you afraid of cannibalism in real life?
I feel like that is not what makes me afraid of cannibalism.
Okay.
What makes you afraid of cannibalism? Like your diet?
Yeah.
Not enough nutrients?
There's not, I was going to say, there's not enough vitamins for it to be in any way justifiable. So that's mainly what scares me is just like the nutrition.
I feel like I could eat person and not feel bad about it.
No way, dude. There's no way you'd be able to live with yourself.
If I didn't know...
Here's the question.
Hold on. If I didn't know...
Yeah, I was going to say...
If it was person when I ate it...
Did you buy it in a store? Because, like, if you buy it, like... If you have to, like, kill a human and, like...
Yeah, and, like, cut him.
Shit.
Yeah, for
but, like,
sure
that's
fucked
not how
up.
we consume meat. That's not how we consume meat. We get it in a package. Could I get a package of human meat and put it in a pan and eat it?
If my Blue Apron box for like 1 week was just like person, I would be like, all right, just as long as the recipe is
organic person.
Yeah, as long as
Charlie, do you do Blue Apron?
No.
Oh darn.
That'd be just a great sponsor to get for your podcast, by the way.
Yeah, it's true. They're big podcast sponsors. That and the Purple Mattress.
That Squarespace is a big one too.
Yo, fuck Squarespace. They didn't hire me, even though I applied once. And
fuck
they just never responded. They just never responded. It's like Squarespace.
You hear that, Squarespace?
My nightmare as a kid was there was this video game I played called Donkey Kong 64, and one of the bosses was this cardboard man who would pop up like wherever you were going and go, ha! And you'd have to hit him with a cannon, and he was very frightening. And I had a dream, a reoccurring nightmare as a kid, that everywhere I went there was a cardboard cutout of a snowman who would like come out of the snow and be like, ha! and spook me. And I was very frightened by him.
I feel like you're the first person I've ever heard that said, yeah, my nightmare originates from Donkey Kong 64.
Donkey Kong, yeah. You're also like, there's this game I used to play, Donkey Kong?
Notorious horror game with lots of jump scares.
Yeah. Yo, the cardboard snowman was a scary boss. It took place out in a castle with rain.
Oh, well, the rain, that's what does it.
And he'd shoot fire, and he'd pop up randomly and be like, ha-ha, which was scary. It was scary. Come to think of it, all the bosses in that game were really scary. There was a Jack in the Box boss who was really frightening, and then he'd turn invisible and jump at you.
Yeah, some of those early animation characters are pretty scary. Like the doctor from Crash Bandicoot.
He's fucking terrifying.
Dude. Yeah, he's an evil dude.
If you saw him in another nightmare I have is I think this is true. Like most just like cartoon characters, like they look normal, but if you saw them in real life, they would be terrifying.
I don't like cartoons.
Every once in a while, I have a dream where like I'll be looking at like I'll be like going to sleep and like looking at my open door to my bedroom, and then I'll just like see like a real life SpongeBob just like walk by the door, and that will just be terrifying because he's like huge. And
I'd be really scared if I saw that, you know that episode of SpongeBob where he gets the magic pencil and he draws the alt SpongeBob?
Doodle Bob?
Doodle Bob, yeah, Doodle Bob. Doodle Bob would scare the shit out of me. That dude's
I'll
evil.
say, I think I hate scary movies, but I would rather watch a scary movie than Bob's Burgers, because Bob's Burgers
Holy
has the
shit.
most terrifying animation I've ever seen in my life, and I have no interest.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I hate that show because of its animation. It's really scary. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like that show though. Like, I think it's a decent show, but like a fine show. But
I've been
If
told it's
someone-
really funny, but
if
I
someone
just
was-
can't.
If someone was
really
watching
extreme
it,
level of
like,
hatred.
not only would I immediately leave and refuse to watch with them, I would think, like, it wouldn't be up to me. I would think less of them for watching it. It's just, it's visceral.
oh wow, that is. Are there any other shows that you have that type of innate hatred for?
I don't like some of the characters from Futurama. Like the Cyclops woman, she's kind of freaky.
What, dude? Leela's a badass.
I just
And she's
don't
hot.
really.
Yeah, she's the hottest Cyclops that's like ever been created.
Okay, but that's a great example. Like, Leela's hot in that show, but if you saw her in real life, you'd be, like, horrified. You'd be absolutely horrified.
that is a great example.
I will say I've watched Rick and Morty and I think it's funny, but like they just
love
don't
Rick and
need to
Morty.
have is it Rick who's always drooling?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just don't need it, you know? It's just extra.
Rick is so extra, am I right? He's
Yeah,
always, like,
Rick's
going
pretty
between
extra.
universes. Whenever I'm sick, like, very specifically whenever I have a fever, I have this dream. And the dream is just, like, kind of this series of, like, images. It's, like, there's, like, a bunch of static shots of, like, miscellaneous city props, like trash cans and benches and stuff. But everything has, like, a big white number on it, like, painted on it. Which, like, kind of roughly correlates to its size. So, like, a bench is, like, a 10. And, like, the piece of paper, like, a crumpled up piece of paper would be, like, a 1.
It's a bunch
then, like,
of static shots. It's so
It's just, like, a bunch of
cinematic.
static stuff. And then, like, eventually we kind of zoom
Dude, this
out.
sounds like something out of like 1984.
Yeah, no, it's fucked up. Eventually we, like, zoom out, though.
It sounds like an art piece. Like
Yeah.
some short video, some
It definitely feels like, yeah, and it's so weird too because I've like had it enough times that like I kind of know, like when it starts I'm like, oh fuck this again, but it like zooms out eventually and then we see like the whole city and it's like 100 and then like the whole earth is like in 1,000 and then it just like keeps going like and going and going.
I feel like
forever.
I feel like-
So this is
and
like-
then I wake up in
sorry.
a cold sweat like always, and sometimes I wake up like in a panic.
it would lend itself well to like a voiceover. Like, is there ever like a voice like a bench sitting?
It kind of sounds just like an existential panic that you're experiencing.
I agree. I think it's just a series of images that leads to a very concrete existential panic. I agree.
Huh. That's really cool though. I think that's like as a concept. I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
just
a
like, my
concept,
brain
your
is just, like-
existential terror is pretty interesting.
Well, no, I was thinking more in terms of like the fact just having like these numbers written on everything, and like kind of like to what extent, like is it like every single brick of a building has its own number? Does the
Yeah.
whole building just have one number? Like,
No, it's like
What was the
everything.
is it
movie-
based on weight or just surface area? I think there's a lot of ways you could take this.
What was that movie where you saw like the time going over everyone's head or whatever?
Oh,
Wasn't there a
in
movie like
time?
that?
Are you saying the movie where they die when they run out of time and like
Yeah,
time is like
yeah,
the
yeah.
currency?
That's what it
That's
reminds
In
me
Time,
of.
starring Justin Timberlake. Very good.
It also
movie.
reminds me vaguely of Too Many Cooks, but we don't need to go down that path. Too Many Cooks!
Too many jokes.
So, is your mom saying anything, Charlie?
No, she actually thinks that we should probably keep going on this segment.
This one?
Oh, but my dad just came in and he's like, no, definitely the next one, please. Oh, God.